Hey guys, so today I thought I would be doing like a first impressions type video on the stuff that I hauled in my last video. And I got a couple new things like I got the ProFusion Contour book thing. I finally found it. So yeah. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so I just scooted you in a little bit. I think I'm going to start with the eyes first, and I'm going to take the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. That's one eyebrow done. Now I'm just going to work on the other. Okay, so I finished the other eyebrow, and I must say I really like that, and just in time too, because I'm about out of my other one. But I went ahead and prime my eyelids with my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. I love this stuff, as you can see, and it's lasted me for a while. So I think I'm going to use the Maybelline Soda Pop. I do have the Revolution Fierce as I did that in my last video. Fierce as Fire. This one I'm not really leaning towards. I really want to work with like these purples in here for today. So just pop into this. And I haven't done anything but swatch it. So I didn't set my eyelids. And I think I'm going to go in with ginger ale here. With my Morphe M518. Just tapping it in there. There is some kick up in the pan. And I'm going to apply that in my crease. And I'm hoping it's dark enough to show up because there's not really a lighter like brownie crease shade. So we might have to build this pigment up. So it looks like that is about as dark as I'm going to be able to get that, which is fine. It still seems to be a little bit darker than the paint pot that I set my eyelids with. I don't know if you can tell much of a difference there. So I think the next shade I'm going to use is the Cola Float here. And I'm just going to take that on a MAC 217 brush. I'm going to swirl it. It's the only bad thing about having a small amount of brushes is you got to clean in between, it feels like. Although it is less brushes that I have to clean. So that's always a good thing. And I'm just going to pack it here on the inner corner and run it through my crease. But I want most of that pigment there on the outer corner. And don't want to take it too high up. Kind of just want to keep it right there in my natural crease. This shade is super pigmented, but it's blending out fantastic. That's just from one dip in the pan. Now I think I'm going to take my first shade that I put in the crease and just blend that out. And please excuse my awfully tanned hands. Not the best, so I've been practicing and I was kind of getting it everywhere I didn't want it last night. So I'm going to be doing a lot of scrubbing on my hands. So that's what we got so far. Next, I'm going to take this small little BH Cosmetic number 8 brush, I think is what it is, and dip into Cherry on Top, which is this dark brown color, or purple color, and put that on the outer crease. And I just want to focus it there. I don't really want to bring it too far into the crease. But I like this brush for packing on darker colors, just because I feel like I have a little bit better control over where I'm putting it, and it just fits right there nicely into my crease. And I'm packing and I'm blending. I think I'm just going to take a couple coats to really build it up, which I know purples can be tricky to formulate on top of, you know, blues and reds, but so far it's not blending away. It's just the color I want is a little bit deeper, so I'm just having to go back in and pack it in. Okay, and then I'm going to go back in and just buff out those edges. And I think I want to go in with a couple more dips of that purple because I really want to deepen it. Alright, so I think I'm going to go in with root beer. It's like a darker brown. It looks like it kind of has that purple hue to it. So I'm just going to dip into that and try to deepen up that outer corner just a little bit. I don't want too much of this because I really don't want to cover up that purple, but I can always go back in and add more. I'd rather put too little than too much, because you can't take away, but you can always add to. And I'm just using this little Eco Tools accent shadow brush. I think this came in a set. And then just going to use that same one to go back into that cherry on top, that purple. Just really pack it. And then I think I'm just going to go back into that Cola Float, that second color we put into the crease, and just kind of go back in there because we kind of lost that color. I'll just use that to blend the edge out. I find that working with color like purples and such, I have to go back in and just rebuild some of the colors up in the crease. And I'm going to clean this up when we move on to the face. That's what we have so far. Might have to put a little bit more purple into that, but so far so good. Okay, so I went ahead and cut my crease with the concealer. So now I'm in a debate on whether I want to use Cherry Cola or Grape Pop all over the lid. Both really pretty colors. And then they got this blue raspberry here, which is like a deep blue, almost black, with some glitter in it. I think I'm going to take, I don't know, maybe I'll take this one. I'll start this one out closer to the outer corner and see how I like it, and if not, I can kind of maybe mix these two or put this one closer to the inner corner. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to use my already dirty swatched up fingers to apply it. Oh, that's so pretty. That's dry. I wonder if I sprayed some setting spray on my finger, if that would make it look more foiled or metallic. Such a pretty color. I think I'm going to put this all over where I put that concealer. I'm just going to take some setting spray here and just spray just a little bit. So that's what we have so far. So I'm just going to clean up under here and do the same thing to the other eye, and then we'll be right back to finish the face. Okay, so I just put on eyeliner, my mascara, and some eyelashes, and that's what the eyes are looking like so far. I used my Ardell Demi Wispies and the Duo Glue. And then I used my Lash Paradise and my Urban Decay 24 gel eyeliner to tight line to try to conceal that. It took me like 15,000 years, but I finally got them on. So I already, you know, moisturized and did my usual pore filler type primer. But I picked up the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation when I wasn't tan. Of course, some places didn't really take as well as others, but this is going to be too light, so I picked up the Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation, and it matches me pretty well when I'm freshly tanned. I've tried this once and I'm not sure how I feel about it, so I think I'm going to give that a go. But I also picked up the Spotlight Illuminating Primer from Physicians Formula, so I'm going to give that a go also. And I'm just going to pump a little bit on the back of my hand, like so. And hopefully this doesn't, you know, make me look like the Tin Man, but you never know. That's what that looks like. I was scared of I was scared that it was going to leave some kind of like tint to my skin, but it kind of just blended in and gave a really nice sheen. Okay, so I'm just going to apply some of this on my face. I mean, it did cover really nicely when I used it the other day, but I just don't know exactly how I feel about it yet. Sometimes it takes me a couple uses to really know if I like it or not, and it gets such a good hype here on YouTube, with a few negative reviews in between, but alright, so it doesn't look like it's really clinging or hanging on to anything from that primer. And if you look up close, I still got that shine from that primer, which I really enjoy, because this yesterday it looked like it dried down to a decently matte finish. And it did set itself down to a powder finish, so I didn't really have to go in and powder my face, which I appreciate, because I do have fairly dry skin, so less kind of powders, that I can get away with, I will. Yeah, setting itself down. So I picked up the L'Oreal True Match concealer, 0.2 or 1.2, whatever. So I'm hoping this isn't gonna be too light, because again, I picked it up when I wasn't self-tan, so I'll blend it out, and seeing if I have to go over it with a little bit darker concealer, I will. But we'll get a true idea of how good it covers. Oh boy. I'm just going to even out the rest of my face here. I don't think it was too light, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, considering I bought it for when I was a lot paler. A lot paler. So I'm curious to see how it looks when I'm not tan. Looks like it did a good job of covering up some of my discoloration. I don't have much, and every single concealer creases on me, so I can't really tell you how good it doesn't crease, considering it always creases on me. But it's not creasing as fast or as bad as some of my other ones, so that's a good sign. Yeah, I think I like that. And I'm just going to set my concealer in the rest of my face. I didn't pick up anything new, so I'm just going to use my Coty Airspun powder. This ProFusion Contour Kit at Marshall's, I'm thinking it was. And I think this is the one that Casey Holmes really raves about. So I picked it up. It's like super reflective. But I also picked up this Wet n Wild P72. It said it was a blush brush, I think, but I wouldn't know. I think it would actually be pretty good for contouring. So I think I'm going to use this and then use this little sample I got and use this NARS bronzer for my bronzer. I've never tried anything but their lip products, I think, so I'm pretty excited to see how that does. But I think I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which I have the little sheet. I think it's called Moonstone, this one right here, and try that one out. So I'm just gonna dip in there. It does have some kickback. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it or not, but it does have some kickback. And it comes with like a little mirror and 3 brushes as well. I'm just going to contour my cheekbone. I don't know why it always looks so harsh on camera, but so far I like it. It's really nice. I might dip into this lighter cool tone one down at the bottom called Ebony and see if that might lighten it up a little bit. I think it might be a little too dark for me, but we'll work with it. Contouring's not my best. Oh, if I could talk today. Apparently talking's not my best suit, strong suit, whatever it's called. I mean, it doesn't look patchy. It's obviously super pigmented. I think I'm just going to take my sponge with a little bit of powder and see if maybe that will help soften it up. But I think once we apply the bronzer and the blush, it won't look as harsh. I mean, I like it. It's nice. I don't know how well they would work on my skin tone when I'm not self-tanned. So I'm curious to see if it will work then or if it will only work when I'm, self-tan. I think they had a darker one as well. I think they might have actually had the same shades, contour shades, but I think, what was it? This highlight shade here was actually a little bit darker than what's in here. So I think these would probably be really good universal tones. I just had to see what those contour shades look like on someone with as fair skin as I do when I'm not tan. many times am I going to say that I'm tanned? I don't know. Anyways, moving on to the NARS bronzing powder, which I'm not sure if it says the name of it. It has 70HJA or something down here at the bottom. I have no idea. But yeah, that's what it looks like. And I'm just going to take it on my Sephora precision brush, powder brush or something. I don't know. I really like using this for bronzing. But I'm just going to dip in there. Oh, I'm starving, so if you guys can hear my stomach, I'm sorry, I haven't ate yet, and it's almost noon, I think. But so far, I'm really liking the bronzy color, if that makes sense. Probably not, but I mean, it just gives me such a nice, like, of course you're not going to be able to see it, but I really, really like this. Oh boy. A little too much bronzer. Really, yeah. I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to reuse that sample to try it out, you know, over a period of time. But so far, I'm really liking the shade of it. It's not too dark. You know, it's just really giving me a nice bronzy tone to my skin. And I think bronzers is like one of my favorite things about putting my makeup on. I'm just going to bring it up into the forehead. Bronze up that forehead. Especially when I'm really pale, I really like to bronze up my skin. Just to bring some dimension and, you know, life back into my face. Just put some down here. Match the lower part with the upper part. And then I'm just going to clean up under here with my powder. Okay, so I cleaned that up and I went ahead and added my blush because I didn't have any new blushes. So I just took Authentic in this little blusher thing I got, I think last year for a holiday thing or something. But I really thought this would tie in the eye look. So I used that. And before I finish up under my eyes, I think I'm going to go ahead and set my face because I'm feeling a little powdery. And then I'm going to apply the highlighter out of this little contour book. And then we will finish up underneath the eyes. So for setting spray, I got the Catrice Prime and Fine. I've heard a couple people recently raving about this. And so I figured I would give it a go. And it's supposed to just make that glow come back to your skin. I feel like my eyelashes sticking to each other. Hate when that happens. I think we are already pretty glowy from the tastes awful, by the way. From the primer, but I feel like it gave us a little extra glow. So don't mind my eyelashes. I'm not very good at putting them on. But yeah, so that's what that's looking like. So I think, I don't know, there's two here in the palette. There's Champagne Highlight and a Pale Gold. So that's Pale Gold. No, wait. That's Pale Gold. And that's Champagne Highlight. So that's what those look like. And I know when I'm fair, I can get away with, I think this one here. This one still might be a little too dark for me. So, I don't know. I think we'll apply this one further back and this one more toward the top part of the cheekbones, just to try to test them out and see. So, let's see. Where's my brush? I might be tan enough to get away with it. It does emphasize texture, which I'll get a little bit closer so you guys can see. Some on the Cupid's bow, on the chin, a little bit on the nose. Or a lot of it, apparently. And then I'm just going to go back in with that lighter one and just hit it right here toward the front. Yeah, these are definitely going to emphasize texture on your skin, which I have a decent amount here on both sides. So I think you can see like what I'm talking about here, where it emphasized my texture. And some of these actually just showed up when I wore the Photofocus foundation, like I told you the other day. I think I wore it for like 8 or 9 hours, and then I noticed that I started getting some of these little bumps here. But I don't know if that was the foundation or it was something that I was wearing that day or what. So I'm kind of glad I get to try it out again and see if that happens. It's not happened to me before with any other of my foundations, so I'm curious to see if it's that or what. So pretty much what I'm going to do is just mimic what I did on the top down at the bottom, only, you know, in reverse, I guess would be the way to put it. I don't know. So I'm going to dip back into Root Beer right here, and I'm just going to use this ColourPop E11. It's like a little flat definer brush. And I'm just going to dip into that and just really pack that onto the lash line, like right up against that water line. And I'm going to connect it up into the upper half of those shadows. And I'm just going to drag that across. And I'm not going to go all the way in. I think I'm just going to stop kind of like where I stopped on the top there. Maybe go a little bit further in. I don't want to go too far in. Just like that. Like I said, I'm just going to connect it back to the top. And then I'm going to go into that cherry on top, probably with the same little brush here. But I'm going to take it a little bit further down than I did that darker shade. Just because I really want this purple to kind of be like the main focus. And I'm going to take it a little bit closer into the inner part of my eye. And then I'm going to use this little Ecos tool brush. I'm going to clean it off and just slightly dip back into that Cola Float. And just kind of blend out that purple. This color is like super pigmented, so I didn't want to pick up too much. I'm kind of just going to smoke it down. And a good way I find to cover up those lines, my little baggage, there is to kind of take that color and smoke it right on out. Just like that. And since that initial shade, that ginger ale, was so similar to my skin tone, or so light, that I can kind of just take that on the very outer edge of that brown and really diffuse that line so it's not as harsh. And if you feel like you kind of lost the purple, you can always just go back in and add just a tiny bit more, which is what I'm going to do. Because like I said, I want that purple to kind of be the main focus. So, something similar to that. And now, for some reason, I like to do my lower lash line and then apply liner, although I think some people do it the other way around. I'm going to do the Revlon Colorstay in, what shade? Black Violet. If I can open it. Oop, too much. I'm just going to warm it up on the back of my hand. I don't know if I've ever used Rimmel eyeliner before, so just going to pop it there. It looks like it's a dark shimmery, almost kind of like that blue that's in the, see how it has more of like a bluish tint to it? I wanted to pick up a lighter purple, but I could not find a drugstore brand that did it. It's not really applying. I'm having to go over it and over it just to get some kind of show up. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of this. I've warmed it up and warmed it up on the back of my hand, so I'm just going to show you on the other eye that no matter how much I try to go in and build it up in my waterline, it just doesn't, like, it'll show up and then it'll just disappear. So I don't know if, you know, my eye is, you know, too watery, or if the pigment's just not the best. But I mean, I go over and go over and go over it, and it doesn't even look like I really have anything in my waterline. Considering how dark it is when it's swatched, it doesn't really give off that pigment in the waterline. So what I ended up just doing was putting this down kind of like a base and going in with this little, I don't know what this is, e.l.f. concealer brush, and dipping into that Great Pop, that really light shimmery purple. And I don't recommend this because I don't know if this is eye safe or not, especially if you got contacts. But I just took that shade and put it in my waterline on top of that eyeshadow, on top of that eyeliner. Just like so. And I feel like it really gives like a nice dimension to the eyes. And then I just kind of go back in there and blend out that whatever fell down into the lash line. Just then blend it out. And then I applied my Maybelline, oh my god, my L'Oreal Lash Paradise to my bottom lashes. And then I used the shade Tonic in the palette as my inner corner highlight and my brow bone. So I almost ended this video without putting on some lipstick. So that should tell you where my mind space is right now. So I bought a couple different lipsticks just because I wasn't for sure what I was going to do. And, you know, not only that, I was just really curious into trying some of these. So I'm just going to swatch some of these on the back of my hand and kind of figure out what shade I'm going to want to use with this eye look. So far I have Dose of Colors here, which I don't know, it's called Knock on Wood. It's pretty dark brown. And then I have the L'Oreal Utmost Taupe there, which I kind of like that one. And then down here I have the L'Oreal Darling Blush. Kind of liking this one. I don't know. We'll see. And then I have the Rimmel in shade 44, which is that one right there, which I kind of like that one too. What do you guys think I should do? Maybe we should just put them all on and kind of go from there. What do you think? Yeah, why not? Why not? I ain't really going anywhere today anyways. So, let's do the L'Oreal in the Darling Blush one. And see what we think about that one. So here's that one. I actually like that one. Could be a maybe. Ignore my upper lip here. I am in need of a serious lip scrub. If you guys know any good lip scrubs, you know, drugstore, high-end, whichever, leave it down in the comments below because my lips need some serious scrubbing. Especially after this. But, I don't know, you guys. I kind of like that one. I'll just quickly take this off and try the other one. Oh my gosh, I can just hear that dead skin scraping. So gross. Oh, it looks awful. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. Alright, so then this one is what, Utmost Taupe, I think, is what it was called. I think this one's gonna be it. As I sit here and think about it for 50,000 years. I don't know, what do you think? So indecisive. Awful. Okay, so I just went ahead and did my hair and changed my shirt. So let's go over kind of everything that I used. So again, I'm trying this out for the second time. I'm interested to see if it gives me any more like bumps on my skin. The primer, I think I'll definitely try this again with some of my other foundations. I really like the glow that it gave my skin. I mean, you can still like see it coming through. This setting spray really gave it some extra dew. I'm interested to see if maybe this can make my makeup last a little bit longer. So definitely interested in giving this a go. The eyeshadow palette, I really liked it. It was nice. It was pigmented. I didn't have any trouble blending it out, anything like that, so I'm interested to play around with some of the other shades here up at the top that I didn't get to try out. But yeah, I really like this, especially like fall time when it's, you know, this kind of color scheme, I guess. The lipsticks, I mean, I like them as I applied them. They're nice and creamy and pigmented. Doesn't feel like it's drying my lips out or anything like that. The other two that I didn't try, I'll, you know, play around with off camera and let you guys know, and maybe like an updated video or favorites or, you know, whatever. So there's that. The concealer, it was fine. I'm interested to see how it, you know, wears throughout the day, if it's going to crease up anymore, if it's going to fade or get patchy. So again, this is going to be something that I'm going to have to try again, but from first impressions, I really like this. The Contour ProFusion Kit, I like the shades. I like how you got nice, cool undertones. They're great for contouring. They were really pigmented, showed up real well on my skin. Again, I do have a little bit of a self-tanner on, so I'm interested to see how well these shades are going to work when I'm very fair. And I think maybe this one might be kind of similar to like a Bobbi Brown, maybe one of these two, to a Bobbi Brown contour color. So I'm going to check that out and see maybe we can dupe it with this, because this was so affordable. I really like the highlighters. Again, they do emphasize the texture on my skin, but a lot of highlighters do. But I'm interested to see how well those, you know, last throughout the day. A lot of this is just going to see how well it fades throughout the day. So I'm interested to see how that works too. If I can, maybe I'll try to get on camera at the end of the day and kind of show you, you know, how everything wore throughout the day and kind of like my thoughts and stuff like that. So hopefully I can remember to do that. Yeah, we'll see. No promises. Not gonna make any promises. What else? Oh, the brush, the Wet n Wild brush. I like it. I think it got really good into the hollows of my cheeks. I think you want to use a light hand if you're going to use this for contour, because they're not tightly packed, but they're packed enough to where it's really going to pack on the product. So if it's something that you know is going to be highly pigmented, you probably want to go in with a, you know, light tap and just start working it in sections. But I really do like this brush, and I'll definitely have to try out more. I've been looking everywhere for these, and I found this one at Walgreens, and it was the last one, so I snatched it up real quick. So hopefully I can get my hands on some more of these. I know I love Wet n Wild. They're affordable. They got some really good products. So yeah, I'll try to get some more of these for sure to add to my collection. The bronzer, I really enjoy this bronzer, and if it wears nicely throughout the day, then I might actually splurge on getting this. I really do enjoy this. Right now I've been only reaching for my Marc Jacobs Fantastic bronzer. Love this bronzer too. But I would be more interested in, you know, trying this out and giving it a nice little try for you guys. And if you guys know, if you guys have this and like it or you don't like it, or anything else from NARS you've tried, let me know down below, because like I said, I've only tried their lipsticks, so that really piques my curiosity. What else? The eyeliner. I don't even know what I did with it because I don't like it. Here it is. Not a big fan of this. Don't know if it's just this color. Don't know if it's all Revlon pencils, but I didn't like it. Pigmentation was not up to par. I tried to build it up. Just was coming right off. So I definitely know I won't be reaching for this again. But I think that is all. But like I said, if I can remember, I'll try to add in a clip to see how this wore at the end of the day. And if not, I guess I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you like this kind of thing. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And if you have any, you know, things you want me to try out, anything coming up, or, you know, any ideas, just let me know down in the comments below. I would love to know your guys' feedback. Anything is helpful. And how long have I had that on my teeth? That's fantastic. Thanks for telling me, by the way. Just kidding. But yeah, just let me know in the comments below if there's anything you guys are wanting to see. Like I said, anything you can think of down below, just let me know. And so until then, bye.